Imagine how much value a screw, a nail, a tape measure, or even a drill bit would have should you not be able to get one. Hello YouTubers, Alaska Prepper here. So this weekend I'm working on a couple of projects and I realized that I needed to get more screws. So I went to a tote that I have that has miscellaneous screws and nails and different types of fasteners, and I saw that I was running pretty low. I did a video a while back, probably more than a year ago, showing you that I had a whole bunch of roofing nails and building nails and screws and things like that. But I realized how much value would a screw have or a nail have if you don't have one but you need one and it wasn't available. So I decided to go ahead and make a small investment on various types of screws and fasteners and also some drill bits. And since I am notorious in misplacing my tape measures, I went ahead and picked up a few because they were on a pretty good price. Now let me show you what I got and why I got it. These are just a couple of basic kits that include screwdriver bits and torque bits. I don't think that we can have enough of these, because this is what actually allows the screw to be screwed into whatever you're screwing it into. Now the type of screws that I purchase usually come with a torque bit, because those are the screws that I like to use. I think they're easier to manage. However, I also purchase regular screws just in case I don't have electricity to run my drill, where I can actually use a screwdriver to screw that screw in. They sell attachments for screwdrivers that will accept different types of bits. However, I like to have a variety of screws that I can use in case one thing or another fails. Now, ladies and gentlemen, these two little kits weren't very expensive at all. I think altogether for both kits I paid about $25. However, they have various tips on them that will go on to different size screws. So even if the screws that you buy come with a bit of their own, it's always a good idea to have an extra kit just in case you lose that bit that the screws came with. Now, like I said, I am notoriously known in my household to misplace measuring tapes. And just imagine this, ladies and gentlemen. Imagine if you needed a screw or a measuring tape and you didn't have it. How much value would that item have at that moment that you needed it but didn't have it and couldn't source it? Just a simple measuring tape or a simple screw. That's why I think it's a great idea for you to stock up on some of these items now while they're still available. Think about it. Some people would say, oh, it's just a screw, or it's just a measuring tape, no big deal. Well, the reason that we think like that is because it's been available to us for so long. But think of the work that it takes into making a screw. Think of the investment in capital and machinery and labor that it takes just to make a screw. Sure, you can go to a video where you go to a factory and it shows you how they make screws and how fast they make them, but how much effort would it take you to make something that's similar to a screw, or a measuring tape, or a nail? So what's going to happen with these measuring tapes is I'm going to go ahead and put these in a big tote along with the screws that I got, and I'm going to put it away, and I'm going to label on there, in case of the apocalypse. Just kidding. I'm going to label on there fasteners, measuring tapes, and such. All right, that way it can be easily accessible. Now, one of the projects that I'm working on this weekend is going to be a place where I can store all of these things in an organized manner, which up to date I have not really had. So that'll be in an upcoming video, ladies and gentlemen. Now let me show you what else I got that I think is pretty imperative for you to have, because it has more than just one use. Now this is just a cheap little set of Ratchet tie downs, or tie down straps, whatever people call it nowadays. I only paid $10 for each set, which is a great deal in my opinion, because each set brings 4 tie downs, and they're only rated at 500 pounds. In addition to just tying things down, for example, if you want to tie down wood, I know that in my truck I use several of these to tie the water tank down to to the body of my truck. That way it doesn't shift around while I'm driving. You can also use these as like clamps. If you want to hold two things together while you're screwing it or something like that, you can use them as clamps to hold those two pieces of wood or whatever it is that you're screwing together. It's not the optimal use for these items, right? But it will work in a pinch. You can also use it as like a come along, where you can strap one end to a tree and pull something as you're ratcheting it, right? In this case, it can't be something really big, but for example, let's say you're on a four-wheeler and it gets stuck and you have one or two of these, but you don't have a winch on your four-wheeler. You can actually strap this around a tree, or you can actually connect several of them around a tree, connect one to your four-wheeler, and then go ahead and ratchet it out slowly. And it will work for that as well. So these things have several uses, and I think that having some of these on hand is just really smart, ladies and gentlemen. I have a set that I bought last year. I think I showed it off to you guys on a payday prep, that are really big, heavy-duty ones. They're rated for like 5,000 pounds. And those are very nice to have around as well. But these, for being as cheap as they are, $2.50 each, just think about it. When you need one of these and you don't have them, the value that these have, to me, is really irreplaceable, especially if you can't find them. Now, this is just a pack of building pencils or carpenter pencils. I'm not sure what people call them. But I am also notorious about losing these guys. So I thought I'd buy an extra pack and put it in that tote as well. Fortunately enough, I still have 2 or 3 that I haven't lost this building season. Now these, ladies and gentlemen, are just a bunch of different types of screws. They all look like regular screws, but each screw has its purpose. I like to use screws whenever I'm building floors, not necessarily when I'm framing, like if I'm framing a wall or something like that. I'd rather use nails, but whenever I'm building floors, I like to use screws. So I ended up getting screws of various sizes and types, ones that we can use inside and ones that we can use outside. The ones that you see down here in that red box right there that say headlock, those are what are called lag screws. I think they're called lag screws. And these are 4.5 inches. Now these are used to screw something together that has a lot of mass. For example, one of the projects that I'm working on today will be building a platform for a future AP studio where I can actually have a small studio in the rear of my property that I can go to and just use for doing live streams and for also doing videos, especially during the winter. So that's what I'm working on today, at least one of the projects I'm working on today. But as you can see, we have screws that we can use outside, like those. Those are like deck screws, but you can use them for anything. And I want you to remember, ladies and gentlemen, continue to ask yourself, if these were unavailable, how much value would they have to me if I needed some? So that's what prepping is about, ladies and gentlemen. It's not about getting lots of stuff. It's about getting lots of stuff that you know you will need in the future. Now, if you're not the type of person that's always working on projects outside, maybe you don't need as many. But trust me when I tell you that I believe that these things will become extremely valuable if ever came the time where they were not available. Look at treated wood nowadays. There's a shortage of treated wood here in Alaska. And treated wood has just skyrocketed in price. And every time that the lumber places around here get stocked up on them, it doesn't matter what the price is. People empty the shelves. Right now, treated wood is almost like toilet paper was 5 months ago. Remember 5 months ago you couldn't find toilet paper anywhere? That's what treated wood is like here in Alaska, at least where I live. So every time that a load comes in, it's gone before they finish unloading it. That's how much in demand treated wood is, especially this time of the year, right before winter starts. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's what I have to show you. Give me some ideas on what other types of things that normally preppers wouldn't prep, you think we should prep. Things that would have a lot of value if they became unavailable. I don't have nails here because I have a bunch of nails. I probably have about close to 10,000 framing nails that are the ones that you put in the air guns. But should the time come where electricity was too expensive or unavailable to run a compressor for the air gun, you can always take those nails and break them into single nails that you can hammer in with a hammer. So that's another thing that you may want to think about having, is having something that you can use to drive these screws or drive a nail into a piece of wood or whatever it is that you're using to fasten them to. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you got something out of this. Like I said in the comments, leave some ideas on things that you think would have a lot of value should they become unavailable or too expensive for someone to buy, things that we should get now. All right, I hope that you guys join in on tomorrow's live stream at 12 o'clock Alaska time, where I will be telling you guys who the 3 winners are, 2 of which will win an all-powers solar generator, which is pretty nice, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. I'm definitely going to keep that one. I'm not going to give that one away. And also, someone is going to win a Sportsman's 4000 gasoline generator that I'm giving away in my appreciation to you all for allowing us to hit a milestone of 50,000 community members. So I hope you guys all have a good day today and a good weekend at that. Remember to be good to each other. When good people do good things happen. Remember to reach one, teach one, and repeat. If we all did this, the world would be a better place, and you know that it will be a better place. Many blessings to all of you and your families. This is Alaska Prepper. I'm out.